my journey trying to feel normal or feel healthy started 9 years ago. That's a long time. And something was wrong, something was off, and I could just feel it. But I didn't know what it was, and that's when the long journey began. And I guess most of you guys watching, you have your own story of how you started to heal yourself some way. And I went the traditional route in the beginning, of course, going to doctors and call it neurologists and eye doctors and alternative therapies, but nothing worked. But then I got into the internet. And the internet has a lot of information. And with a lot of information comes a lot of misinformation. And my first big chunk of misinformation was back when I think that was 2017 or no, maybe 2017 or something, back when veganism really was a big thing. It was becoming this new thing that was going to save the world, save the animals, and save your health. And I watched Cowspiracy, and I was so inspired, and I went vegan. And I was vegan for almost 3 years. Around 3 years. Where I constantly thought I was getting better, but I wasn't. And I was saying that when I felt bad, it was detox symptoms. So I was sort of just lying to myself. But everything I was watching on YouTube and on the internet, it was just all leading towards veganism. Back then, I wasn't very aware of the algorithm tunnel vision that you can get once you start watching certain YouTubers. But I just got worse, progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. And I know that I'm still dealing with a lot of issues that I got from doing the vegan diet. But at the same time, I saw other people doing good on it, so I kept pushing, trying to get all the right supplements, trying to change the vegan diet, going from junk veganism to really pure, like whole foods, like becoming an expert in what you need in your body, but somehow not connecting the dots that in reality I needed something else. But then the YouTubers I was watching, all of a sudden they all started dropping off and stopping being vegans because they couldn't keep it up anymore as well. And I finally gathered the courage to start eating some meat, and I finally felt better. But I didn't know why. If you fast forward a few years, I just started eating a standard diet. I didn't really care anymore because I had spent 3 years being so extremely focused and like eating only vegan, not slipping up anytime. And it took a big toll on my relationships because I tried to tell people, like, I'm not a vegan, I'm just Emil. But I was vegan and I believed it very strongly. So my relationships and family and friends, it took a toll because I had these values, right? So when I finally quit, I just needed to relax and not think about it, because that can also bring you down. And like when you try to do something in such an extreme way. So the point of this video is to try to tell you what I'm doing now, what I'm trying now, because I've tried all the diets. I've tried vegan, vegetarian, I tried fruitarian, keto, carnivore, paleo, standard diet, like a carb heavy diet, a protein heavy diet, and with keto the fat heavy diet. And like I was just following all these different ways of eating, because people who show what they eat, they can be really persuasive. And I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted a cure, because I knew something was wrong. And I finally, like after 9, almost 10 years, I've started like finding out what's really going on. I've tried carnivore a few times, and like I felt amazing, but I couldn't really do it because it's such an extreme diet. So I always ended falling off, even though I had these moments of feeling truly amazing. But then I felt bad, and I didn't know why. And I said, yeah, this is too extreme. I need to balance out my diet. But for like maybe third time's the charm, because I'm back on the carnivore. But I also did Paul Saladino's version, where he adds fruit to the diet to add some carbs that doesn't have a lot of oxalates. And that was actually very great, very balanced, but there was still something off. Now, I'm no expert, right? But I always try these different things, whether it be diet or exercise or semen retention, or I try all these different things to find out where does the misinformation come from, and where's the real information, the true things where people don't just try to profit from you, like take all your money and make you buy stuff and whatever, right? So I tried the things for a long time, and I tried to feel what's going on in my head, in my body, my sleep, my everyday. So I'm my own, what do you call it, scientist. I go by results, not what people tell me to feel or think. And there was something about the meat it always felt a lot better. Just felt more calm, more energized, no jitter, no crashes, none of that. Okay, so this is a bit difficult, but so I'm back on the carnivore diet now. And one of the challenges of becoming, going back to a carnivore diet, is becoming fat adapted. Because if you're used to eating a lot of carbs, eating a lot of rice or potatoes or cakes or vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of bread, all of that. That's so many carbs. And when you start eating meat, you have to eat all the fat meat, like the fatty cuts and full fat milk, cheese, eggs, butter. It's a lot of fat, and that's why you have to slowly go into it. But I've reached a point now where it doesn't affect. I feel very fat adapted. I can eat a lot of meat now, a lot of eggs, a lot of cheese, butter, and feel great, and have perfect digestion. Yeah. But recently I found out about the thyroid. And I don't understand why people don't talk about the thyroid. Because it's basically this thing, it's right here somewhere, that controls all your hormones. It like regulates all your hormones, and it can very easily be overstimulated. So too much stress and too much stimulation will make it like out of whack, will make it crazy. And that will give all the symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, gaining weight all of the sudden, or not being able to gain any weight and being skinny, which has been my problem all along, and especially the brain fog. When I learned this, like it all makes sense all of a sudden, because you can also be overstimulated by carbs, too many carbs. You can be overstimulated by too much caffeine, too much alcohol. This is something that puts your thyroid to work, like in a very heavy way. Now, when I were younger, I used to do drugs. I used to drink a lot. I also, after that, did a 3-year vegan diet, where I never really felt good, and I was always like, I was needing some sort of fat and like protein from the meat. Like it's so easy for me to tell now that I was needing a lot of things, which was also putting my thyroid in like this danger zone. So, and then I had a lot of trauma from my family, and I've just been moving around a lot, and it all crashed a few years ago. So I was bound to like destroy my thyroid. Yeah, because it's starting to come out all this information. And like, again, I'm no expert, but sometimes you just have this epiphany of like why you've been feeling like shit for so long. Because I've quit alcohol, I've quit caffeine, I've quit masturbation and porn, I've quit sugar. And right now it's been very easy to quit sugar because I'm doing the Carnivore Diet. Somehow. So all these addictions, which like I had reached a point where my thyroid could not handle it. And some people have a normal thyroid that they haven't been like hammering it down until it couldn't handle anything anymore. And that's why I'm super sensitive to all these super stimuli and just also normal stimuli. And that's when I just cheat a little bit. I get punished very badly from my thyroid because it just goes crazy. And I haven't made it recover yet. And why is that, you may ask? That's also what I just found out, is that we need a lot of iodine. So I looked into the Danish health care. We have this official website where you can look at things about health. And I searched up iodine and the thyroid. And like it just said that they suspect that 15% of the Danish population has, I think it's called hyperthyroidism, which is just a bad thing. Like it's out of whack. It's not working properly. And then you can't regulate all the hormones in your body and you get all these crazy symptoms. And that is because of, and that's why they don't say why. Because then they write under, like, it's no problem in Denmark because we add iodine to the salt. But like, it's only added to this kitchen table salt, which no people uses that, and it's not good iodine that is added to it. So it says 15% are suffering from hyperthyroidism. So like, there clearly is a huge problem. 15% is a lot, and that's just an estimate. We don't know, like, if people have this mild hyperthyroidism, because also, like, so many people are being overstimulated by the internet, right? And so many people are stressed out. This is destroying the thyroid. On top of that, no one is getting the iodine that they need. Like, iodine is the fuel for the thyroid. Without it, it will also go crazy. So I was starving my thyroid, which is regulating my hormones, from iodine. I was totally stressing it out with different diets that clearly didn't work. And I was doing drugs at some point, like smoking weed. And I was doing that at an early age. And that's just even worse. Like, you shouldn't do it at any point. And I haven't done it for many years, but the damage was done. And then I did all the diets. And if you overtrain, like, you can't just push through with discipline all the time. You need to listen to your body. Reality will always be reality, right? So when I realized all this, I've just been, man. And so when I do the carnivore diet now, I just feel amazing, man, because now I eat a large amount of fat, like fatty meat. I do ribeyes and steaks and bacon and butter and eggs, and I'm getting all this really important fat. And everyone in Denmark is scared of fat. Like, everyone just wants to eat their candy and like cookies and chips, and it's all fine. We don't have to worry about that. It's the fat. We can't have added fat. So we drink this, what is called skim milk. It's like, we got this thing called mini milk, and I think it's like 0.5% fat. And if you look at like natural fat, it's around 3.6% fat. And you can also get something now called grass milk in Denmark, which is it's 4.5%. And this is what I give my boys, and my ex-wife is also drinking it, and it tastes just right. Like, it like, you can just, if you have somewhat of your intuition left, you can just, something tastes right. And that is fat, but we have become so scared of fat. But it is such an important fuel for our body. But we like to blame everything else because we are also addicted to carbs and sugar, which is added to most foods in the long ingredient lists. And when I did the vegan diet, I used to do all these different foods where, they have replaced the meat and the milk with this long ingredient list of all this factory bullshit, chemicals and bad oils, which are not supposed to go in the human body. And then we stamped it with vegan. It's going to save the world and save everything. And then we just eat it. And it's all for profit. And it's just based on this ideology that, like, death doesn't exist. And I fell into it for 3 years. So there's a lot of misinformation. And I'm not telling you to go on the carnivore diet or find out if you have hyperthyroidism. But I got my iodine today, and I have done 3 drops today, and I'll be doing 3 drops tomorrow and the day after that, and I'll see what happens. And I'll keep going on this carnivore diet, and I'll stay on the semen retention grind. And I can just feel it doing work. Truly. So it's very exciting. And I'm going to stay honest. Like, if anything changes, I'll keep you guys updated. I just, this is the channel where I share everything. And this is currently something I'm very focused on because I've tried all the diets. So you can tell me what you want about what diet to follow, but I've tried all of them. Literally. And this is the one that makes sense and feels like it's going in the right direction. It's so obvious. And every time I fall back into like a carb-based like meals, I just feel it instantly. That it's something where my body has to like put in overtime. It has to work a lot. And because I've destroyed my thyroid, which I strongly believe, it needs actual time and all the right nutrients to heal. Yes. I hope that makes sense. And that's what's going on right now. And I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you in the next one.